VINCENZO'S Go Crypto Investing. Bell notification, comment down below, subscribe and share. Become members of Jabroni Killer to support the page to keep these daily XRP, Bitcoin, and blockchain technology and breaking news videos coming one time a day. And this is your November 23rd, 2024 update. As you can see here in the news, as we start off, BlackRock hits 513 million in daily inflows. Bitcoin ETF net value reaches $107.488 billion. Bitcoin spot ETF saw a surge in inflows with 490 million recorded on November the 22nd, making it the fifth consecutive day of positive momentum. BlackRock's IBIT ETF led the charge with a record-breaking 513 million single-day inflows. The total net asset value of spot Bitcoin ETF has now reached $107.4 billion, solidifying their dominance in the cryptocurrency space. The consistent inflows in Bitcoin spot ETF, some as major Bitcoin holders like MicroStrategy, MetaPlanet, have expanded their Bitcoin holdings. On Monday, Michael Saylor acquired $4.6 billion. The firm also announced plans to raise an additional $1.75 billion. MicroStrategy said it completed an offering of 0% convertible senior notes due in 2029, raising $3 billion, which would be used to purchase more Bitcoin. The offering included an initial 2.6 with an additional 400 million by initial purchase. The purchase was finalized Thursday. Likewise, MetaPlanet recently announced plans for 11.3 million. On October the 22nd, spot ETF inflows of 490 million, 5 consecutive days of net inflows of 513 million. Just recently, digital asset prime service platform launched a service designated for corporates seeking to hold cryptocurrencies as a reserve asset in their balance sheet. Ethereum spot ETF also experienced a notable rebound on November the 22nd, following 6 consecutive days of outflows. Total inflows reached 91.2 million. BlackRock ETHA ETF 99.67 million. Global Market Inc. is set to launch its first cash-settled index option tied to Bitcoin spot price. These options will be based on the ETF index, which takes a range of U.S.-listed spot Bitcoin ETFs. The move follows NASDAQ's recent introduction of Bitcoin ETF option, enabling investors to hedge risk or speculate on Bitcoin price movement through derivatives. Historically, crypto derivatives like options and futures have been traded primarily outside of the U.S. due to regulatory challenges. However, increasing institutional interest and more favorable regulatory environments have major exchanges like CBOE to offer these offerings. Other major players, including Grayscale and BlackRock, have also expanded into options trading, further boosting the market liquidity and appeal. Bitcoin ETF has continued to gain traction, now holding 5.33% of all mined Bitcoin. Significant price peak in March and November correlated with 4 billion in ETF inflows, showcasing the impact of these funds. Bitcoin ETF trading volume surpassed 7.22 billion earlier this month, while Ethereum 295 million inflows, driven by institutional interest from firms like BlackRock and Fidelity. BlackRock Bitcoin ETF remains a market leader with assets under management reaching 40 billion, placing it among the top 1% of global ETFs. And that's some very interesting news. And if we look at the Bitcoin price right now, you're going to have to deal with these advertisements. Let's go into the full screen so my lovely audience here can get a better view of what's going on. If we look at the weekly, you can see it's just been a consistent pump with consistent corrections. And right now, on this last move that we've had, it's really been induced by the presidential election in the U.S. And if we get rid of some of this jargon off the screen, it'll make it easier for everybody to see. Let's move this over here. Let's move this jargon out of there. You can see we hit a price peak of 74,297 back in March or early spring, and then we had a sideways consolidation, which turned into a bull flag, and then we had the Donald Trump induced pump with the presidential election there. Of course, that didn't delete what I wanted. The Donald Trump induced pump right there. Let's put this back on just because I like to keep these on here. We'll clone that, and we'll just take that and move it back to where it was. And you can see where it broke out there. And this recent pump has all been a Donald Trump induced presidential election, which was right here. And you can see it spiked up 50% in just 2.5 weeks now. And it's approaching the initial target of $113,000 with major underneath support sitting back there at about $76,417. And then if we zoom out, you can see where we get, and we've been showing how we get our major target if we go back out into the monthly, how we get our $379,849 target. You would take it, you would take it from the bottom of this double top correction targeted move up into this right here, and you could say that was a bear flag or a bull flag, and this was your flagpole, that last consolidation that we broke out of, and then you bring it to the point of the breakout, and that gets you all the way up there to that $379,000 target. Is it going to happen tomorrow? No. Are there going to be major corrections? 50, 60, maybe 70, 75% corrections in between there and that price target? Absolutely. But that's something that we're watching for and something that we're going to pay attention to. But at the current state, there has been no signs of any major correction taking place on any first correction, whether it's up here at this initial $112,000 target or where it's at now at $99,000 and change. Your first major support zone would be $76,000, followed by the major bull flag that we broke out of, $61,500. But that's not anything that we're watching right, or it is something that we're watching right now. But currently, the price is showing no signs of going there. But those are your major underneath targets. You can see we're still above all the short and long-term moving averages. If we move into the Bitcoin dominance, and this is something that we've been following for the alt season, and as the Bitcoin dominance has been coming down now from its peak that it hit here at about 61.66%, if we zoom out into and this is why this is very important for alt season. If we zoom out, we're going to need to go even farther back into the weekly. Every time we have our first major correction or dump from Bitcoin dominance, you can see February 17th of 2017. If we just take a look at the first major leg down with Bitcoin dominance, it went into September, right? We'll remember that zone. And then we had our next major dump in Bitcoin dominance after a massive pump and an all-time high before the COVID right here. We had our next major leg to the downside in Bitcoin dominance, right? And the reason this is very important, if we go into something like our altcoins, let's go to XLM in February 2017. Well, this coin I don't even think was back. Let's go to XRP, February of 2017, which was back. So this chart doesn't go back long enough, but you can see we had a big pump after Bitcoin dominance started to tank. We had a major pump in 2018, right? The end of 2017 and 2018, as Bitcoin was still in its major correction. And then we can see back here, we started our major pump in November of 2020. And if we go back to our Bitcoin dominance, you're just going to have to deal with these advertisements. If we go to our Bitcoin dominance in 2017, we'll get this chart straightened up for you on the next video. But anytime we have our initial dump in Bitcoin dominance, we have alt season explode in the weeks and months preceding that before we have an alt bear season. December of 2020. Let's go see what happened in December of 2020 with XLM. Here you go. December of 2020 in XLM. Right here. Look what we did. We went up 400%, right? Because as Bitcoin dominance starts to go down, what the Bitcoin dominance means is all the people that were in Bitcoin start to take profits, right? And you can see how that correlated with the alt season in 2020 before the COVID-induced pump. But as they sell out of Bitcoin and take profits, they rush into these altcoins as they start going up to try to catch the next train before the next bear market. What you have is a Bitcoin pump, Bitcoin all-time high, Bitcoin enthusiasm, Bitcoin euphoria, and then people start taking profits and they start going into these altcoins that they think might go up 1, 2, 300%, and that inflicts an alt season. And then after the alt season, you have a big bear market in the alt season. And then as the bear market's intensifying in the altcoins, Bitcoin starts to near a bottom, and then the people get scared and start cashing out of their alts, and they start stacking back into Bitcoin like you've seen right here over the last 2.5 years, and that creates the next Bitcoin bull run, and then you repeat the cycle. Then you'll see after a massive move to wherever the all-time high will end out and have the top out price for this next Bitcoin bear market and consolidation, you'll have a quick flush down real quick in Bitcoin dominance. At the same time, you'll have alt season for 1 or 2 months after that before the alts go into a big bear market, right? So right now, we're just in the beginning stages of alt season as we've had a lot of these coins go up 1, 2, 300% from their lows, even though they're still down a massive amount. You can see Ethereum Classic is an altcoin to Ethereum. And look at when Ethereum Classic took off, December of 2020, for about 3 months, and it went up 26x. And that was as Bitcoin dominance was flushing because people were taking profit out of there, rotating into the altcoins. And then you started the Bitcoin consolidation and bear market, followed by the 3-month alt season. And then as soon as the alt season concluded and they peaked out, then you started seeing the big downturn on all the alts. You could go across the board. XLM, XRP, Ethereum, all these altcoins started to go into their long bear market. And that was the signal that Bitcoin was finding a bottom. Bitcoin dominance over those same 2 years during the alt major bear market, Bitcoin dominance starts to rise because the coins start getting consolidated back into Bitcoin, which helps to form a bottom and then start the new uptrend, a new bull market. And that's what we had. And you can see Ethereum now has been on a tear. It's up better than 5.5x from its low back about 2 months ago. And now we have to wait to see where the top actually is. How high can they blow this off before there's some kind of correction? But we've had 18 straight days of wins without a daily loss or a red candle. You can see all these daily green candles or 4-hour green candles, and we went up 33.33% on the open today, and we're still up 28.67%. And what I'm looking at now is 50 cents is your next major upside target, and on any kind of correction, what you would be looking for is, we already blew by that, we blew by this, so we can get rid of that. What I'd be looking at on any kind of correction is your first target is 34 cents. And then what you would want to see on any kind of correction is for you to stay above this pattern that you had here, because that pattern that you had there came off a massive pump from 9 cents to 28 to 30 cents. And you want to stay above that channel because you wouldn't want to see something like this and get below that channel, because then you got to fight back through it. Your healthy correction now would be down to 34 cents, or even down as low as, if we take this and clone it, even down as low as the bottom part of this green resistance zone to 29 cents. That these would be major healthy if it corrected bullish to hold that, and that would be launching you into your next run to the upside. Or we're just going to keep skyrocketing to the upside because nobody knows where the upside stops. If we go and look at the XRP, it's the same thing. We broke out of that bull flag that we had here after our major pump from about the where were we at down here? About the 49 cents all the way up to the $1.24. We had a nice 6-day consolidation, and then we broke out to the upside, and our next target is $1.94. And this flag, bull flag, pennant formations target is all the way up here at $2.90. And then any kind of correction, your first line of support now would be down here at the old breakout point at $1.26. Your next underneath support and major support is down there at about 96 cents. And then in some kind of cataclysmic event, 69 cents, or a major resistance zone from the prior 3 to 5 years would be your major support underneath. And then one more coin I wanted to talk about is AMP. Could AMP be about to have a 20x explosion? And that's something that I'm watching out for, because we did have this major pump last year, followed by a major dump. And now what we're looking at, if we zoom out into its all-time chart, this could be a coin that gets heavily pumped quick. And this thing is known to move 100% in a day. And I have an upside target of near its all-time high up here on a price call out. No, that's not what we want. We want a price note. I have an upside target all the way up here, J, of 0.058% or 0.058 cents, thinking that this is due to break out in a big fashion, because this coin loves to run. It's been suppressed down greater than 99% from its low, and it's only off its low that it hit in 2023. It had a 10x move in a couple of months, and it's only currently sitting at 276% up. But after it had its major correction here, we formed a nice bottom, and then we had our wake-up moment where, hey, this coin's about to wake up. We pumped 40 to 80% over the course of 24 to 48 hours, and I think on its next move to the upside, on its next hyper pump, you're going to hit this old high of 223% initial pump, and I think we're going to make a skyrocketing prediction, and this is my prediction for AMP. I think we're going to be going way up here over the next maybe 1 to 3 months. I think we're going to get up into this zone very quickly, anywhere from that upside target to this major area of consolidation. I think this is where you're going, and I think you could do this in the matter of only a couple of days, and that is a 10 to 25x move to the upside. Let's get rid of that ugly price note. That's a 10 to 25% move, 25x move to the upside, as I think we're going to take out that 0.016 cent level, and then I think we're going to skyrocket up into this green trading zone between, if we put a price note up here, we'll clone that, between the 0.02263 and the 0.05874. And from the current price, it looks to be about right there. That is a 300% to 10x move. And then if we get back to the all-time high, that's a 22 to 23%, 23x times your money move from current price. And that is what I'm watching out for. Peace and love. Stick with me later on today for the daily update.